You start with the status of Dak Prescott and what you're looking at there as far as the length of the injury he's dealing with.
I mean, Dak Prescott's injury, I mean, we're obviously still evaluating. We've have some information. The only thing I really have for you as far as the timeline would be that he will not be available this week.
And without Dak, if you can just talk about how you proceed with Cooper Rush and Trey Lance and just talk specifically about Cooper and what he's done in your time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it really doesn't change anything for us. And even speaking with Dak earlier, I mean, this is about the quarterback room. I mean, we've always invested all the time and energy into the quarterback, Dak that has the football. So now it's Cooper's turn, and Dak will be part of that process. And we'll rally around him and make sure that we do everything we can and make sure he's prepared, and we'll just keep going about it the way we've gone about it.
Todd
Archer with ESPN. Is IR a possibility for Dak when you get that information?
I mean, obviously a lot of conversation, but I think once the doctors and really once he figures out exactly where he's at, I mean those are conversations that'll probably happen here over the course of this week.
And then with Rush, you talked about it a little bit. Can you and Trey? Are there certain ways you can get Trey involved in a game now, or do you just not want to do something like that?
I mean, I think if you just look at the way we played the last game, I mean, we're just really want to improve on the things we did well, but obviously we got to clean up, the pre-snap penalties, particularly on the road. The good thing is that we are coming home to play because that's part of the, part of the mistakes that we've had. But yeah, our focus is really to go into this and have a game plan to beat the Eagles defense, and we have great confidence in Cooper.
Sadius of The Athletic. Mike, you've had two extended stretches without Dak, one in 2020, then in 2022. Different results. How do you see? How do you compare those two, and how you can make this more like 2022?
2020 really on just so many different fronts was a challenging year. Obviously, that was a huge injury, and he was playing well at that time. Yeah, and it's a totally different team. Different setup. I think we're definitely further along in Dak's second opportunity when Cooper went in there and did very well. So I don't. The point I'm trying to make is I really don't use 2020 as a comparable on a lot of things that we do, just because it was such a different year. But yes, I mean Cooper's played really good football for us. I think he's 5-1 in his opportunities. So like I've already said, we have great confidence in him.
Does that 5-1 record go a long way in the locker room as well, just in terms of knowing that he's capable of going out there?
Oh, it goes well beyond 5-1. I mean, Cooper Rush is as respected as a backup quarterback that I would say since Rich Gannon. When I was with Rich in the 90s of Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, he carries that type of credibility. He's a great teammate. He's someone that you can see the young guys lean on. He's wicked smart, instinctive, does a great job on it, when he runs a scout team. So I mean, he just does everything the right way. Excellent pro, and like I said, there'll be plenty of confidence in him.
Nick Harris, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Obviously, turnovers and inconsistency was kind of a problem for Trey Lance during the preseason, but is there anything you can take away positive-wise that you can potentially use here now down the stretch?
Yeah, Trey Lance just needs to play. I mean, I know I've said that probably 20 times during the course of the preseason, and I think just the fact that he was able to get game reps. You look at Trey from the time he arrived, there's a lot of new things he had to do, footwork-wise, concept-wise, but another excellent teammate. He's a big part of our quarterback room, the way we function. They all have responsibilities throughout the week for game planning, presentations. Trey does an exceptional job, in that area, especially with signals and things like that. So, he's ready to go to be in that 2 spot. But yeah, like I said, we trust this quarterback room.
Is there an outlook for Micah Parsons this week right now?
Just talking with Micah earlier, he's feeling better, so he's going to get some practice time Wednesday. That'll be a big day, kind of point us in that direction. So it looks like he's going to be able to potentially get on the practice field.
Joe White, All City Dallas. Kind of that same note, is there kind of an update on Deron Bland's potential for getting back out?
He's kind of the same mode. He'll probably start with the rehab group. I'm projecting because tomorrow's workout will be part of that evaluation. So I'm hopeful that he can move from the rehab group to maybe some limited work Wednesday. But that's to be determined.
And go back to that Falcons game. Looked like the running game got going a little bit as the game progressed. What did you kind of see from just the rhythm that Rico kind of had, and then the offensive line working together?
Yeah, I think clearly giving Rico touches. We would like to give him some more touches. Obviously his ability not only to run it, but he's very effective in the passing game too. So, yes, the only thing that we really didn't do was to get more trips to the plate in the run game. But I thought Rico played very, very well.
Babe.
Babe Loftmark, 105.3 The Fan. Mike, taking 2020 off the table with being 3-5, losing your starting quarterback, the Zeke situation. Is this maybe your most challenging week that you've had
This year?
Well, no,
in your time here?
again, taking 2020 off the table.
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. It's hard. Yeah, it's definitely hard. But yeah, I just think this is the path that's been cut out for us. I mean, we're going through, adversity, and it's a phenomenal opportunity for us as a team. Is frankly what we talked about in the team meeting today. And I think the biggest thing for us is, we come out of the bye week, had a really rough game before the bye. Came out of the bye week, thought it was very productive, improved some in our play against San Francisco, had a chance to win the game. Took another step, played better against the Falcons. So really the biggest thing is to keep building off what we've done. We answer so many questions, and that's just the beauty of coming in here. It's just so thankful about all the things that we don't do well. So I think it's important for us to really just stay on top of the things that we have done well. And, number one, I finally felt like we were in a flow on offense. We were able to get to some up-tempo. We were able to get some balance. With the offense, offensive play calling, run and pass. So just to build off that, I thought Mike's plan was exactly what we needed. He turned up the heat some on the pressure and things like that. So, we're doing some things better. And hopefully we can get some guys back too. That'll help. But the continuity and the consistency, we need to take another big step. And we got a big game obviously with the Eagles coming here for our division. So just really staying focus on the self-scout, cleaning our own house, and staying after it. Because at the end of the day, if we take care of the things we were able to control, the result of that game yesterday would have been different.
Aaron.
Aaron Kaznos, Lone Star Live. Mike, just want to check in on Ezekiel Elliott. Did you meet with him at all today, and do you anticipate him being available for the team?
Yeah, Zeke will be available. He was in all the, he went through everything today, but we did not have a sit-down today.
Ed.
Ed Werder, WFAA. Can you elaborate a little more on how you were able to resolve Zeke's status after the discipline over the weekend?
I'm not sure you asked me, Ed. What do you mean resolve it?
I mean, how did it come to pass that he decided he wanted to be here and you still wanted to have him on the team?
Well, I think the biggest thing with Zeke was it was a team, it was a team discipline situation. Had a chance to sit down and talk about it on Friday, and then Saturday it was a mutual decision for him to stay back, and I respect that.
And could you update us on CD's scans?
Have not got the scans back yet, so we'll know more tomorrow for sure.
Tom.
Tommy Yarsh, Cowboys.com. Mike, I know one of the things that's frustrated you has been some of the pre-snap stuff. When that keeps happening, is there something that you try to do in practice to get over that, or does that kind of just naturally take time to mentally get out of players' heads?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just one of the things, the practice components that we have is anytime a player on either side of the ball, has a pre-snap penalty, he's removed from the play. So, but that maybe that's not enough. But yeah, I mean, we emphasize it, continue to emphasize it. The pattern for the pre-snap, particularly on a road, is the one we just need to just continue to work on. Our nonverbal cadence is the number one, violator of the pre-snap. So obviously we play home the next 2 weeks, but that's something we just got to continue to work on and make sure we get the mechanics tighter because it definitely bit us yesterday.
Newey.
They took my question about Ezekiel Elliott, but I'll ask you this. Tomorrow, America goes to vote. Do you all talk about the locker room, about voting and utilizing their rights here?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the league does a really good job of, making sure everybody's aware of it. And I think just like, everybody, it's on everybody's mind. But yeah, I think really the pre-voting, frankly, I think a lot of people have already voted based on the conversations that I've been a part of.
Did you vote? Yeah.
Not yet. Been busy.
Are you registered in Texas or Wisconsin?
Texas. I'm a Texas resident. God, how can I get away with it? You know, I mean, Jesus. No, I'm kidding.
Brandon.
No state taxes here, right? Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
So we've heard. Brandon Cooks, he can come off IR this week.
He's getting better. Yeah, I've had a chance to visit with him. He's feeling good. I don't have a status. I mean, he's not a return to the field yet. So, tomorrow's a big day for those guys too. So, hopefully he'll progress this week.
Jerry talked after the game about the trade deadline, that there's some things maybe in the mix. What does this team need?
Oh, I don't think it's as much as what you need. It's really what's available and does it help you get better. That's how I've always approached the trade deadline. And obviously I don't have a lot of history of bringing players on at the trade deadline. But yeah, I think if things are right, the value and everything that goes into it. I mean, this is just not a decision based off of this position, that position. It all has to fit together.
David. Mike, you're talking about the pre-snap penalties and other things self-inflicted wounds that you've had this season. When you've had this many injuries as well, is it even more difficult to work through those issues? I mean, I know it's not an excuse, but when you're churning the roster the way you are in certain spots, it seems like a factor in.
Well, I mean, that's really the point I continue to make about the continuity and the consistency. I mean, you're always thriving to increase that. And if you look at any time, just use the offense for example. I know the best runs of offense that I've been on. You are in sync. I mean, you're humming. You're playing faster than the other guy. You're getting out of plays. Players are finishing your sentences. The quarterback hears the formation. He's already got the play call. He's in at a huddle. I mean, it's just you're in sync at a higher level. So I mean, we have components of that. I think just the way we started the game, I thought, here we go, and we just had a couple plays here and there that got us off that rhythm. But yeah, that's what you're always striving for. And I think it's only stating the obvious when you do have change in lineup. It's hard to keep that pace. And you look at the teams that are playing very well right now, especially on offense. That's the groove that they're in.
Mike, aside from the two stretches without Dak, you also had a couple without Aaron in Green Bay. As a coach and play caller, when you do go from franchise quarterback to a backup, what do you do? Do you have to adjust anything schematically, systematically, or anything? How do you approach that?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's so much. That's why I go back to the first question. It's more about the quarterback room. Is the room ready to handle these opportunities? And some rooms are better than others. Some rooms are connected tighter than others. And that's in every position. So not only the importance of the starter, getting ready to play the game, but it's also, paying it forward to the young guys or the next guys. So this is the ultimate team game. I mean, this 17-game schedule is real, and that's why it's important to just making sure everybody's trained. That's why I always talk about the 68 players. It's just not 53, because this is how this thing goes. So you just got to stay the course and you'll come out the back end of the way you want it to go. But yeah, I've been through this before. I've played 5 quarterbacks twice in my career. 2020 was one of them. 2005 was another. So I've been down this road on different levels. But once again, the preparation and the time spent with these 3 quarterbacks, Dak, Trey, and Cooper, I think will show itself come Sunday.
Nick.
Mike, a few players had mentioned a couple of weeks ago that if you were to take care of divisional opponents, that there might be a chance at the end to sneak into the playoffs. Is that still kind of the resounding feeling, even after a Dak injury like that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is to beat Philadelphia. It's a division game. It's an important game. Yeah, I think that the way these schedules are laid out, all those things will take care of itself if you just stay focused on winning one game at a time. And that's what we need to do. We need to play better, number one, keep it about ourselves, and you always got to win your division games. I mean, let's be honest, it's hard to get in without winning division games. So that's our focus.
And then your Thursday night meetings that you typically have with Dak, is that something you maybe do with Cooper Rush this week? How does
absolutely, yeah. The process won't change.
Mike, can you walk us through the fake punt decision? Is that something that's based on the look, then can get called off, or is that something you're going for? And that's
definitely. And I think clearly when you look at, everything involved, we haven't run that in, I think, was it 2.5 years? It's definitely matchup based. I mean, you're looking for the one-on-one, which we had. We had the matchup we were looking for, young corner coming up. So really, C.J. Goodwin is someone we have a tremendous amount of faith in, and he's always executed those types of things at a very high level, and Brian throws it very well. We practice it all the time. It's definitely, a kill type situation, so because we've had it up before, and sometimes CJ will they'll double team him, and then then you got to wipe it off. So, and that's way too much information. But yes, definitely, it's we got the look we were looking for.
So you don't think it was an overly aggressive call for the time and score of the game where you guys were and all that?
I think all deceptors are what they are. When they work, it's a great job by the special teams coach. When they don't, that head coach doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I think that's been my experience with it. But it's definitely, if you draw it up by play design, we got what we were looking for. So I think it's really came down to execution.
My understanding, you don't know the extent of Dak's injury, but will you be bringing in a quarterback either to work out, practice squad, or
Yeah, great question, babe. We're not there yet. I mean, we really, just like I said, we had the team meeting at 2, visited with Dak afterwards, really talked more about the game, and he'll continue to get some more information on the injury. So, but our personnel meeting, we didn't get into that.
With Lamb, did he further damage it later on when he dove on
He's
it?
going to have more testing tomorrow, so we'll know more tomorrow. But just knowing CD, I mean, I don't see him not playing. But but that's why you do the testing. So.
All right, thank you, Mike.
All right, thank you.